This says I'm live, so I'm gonna guess I'm live. How's everybody doing? I've got the door shut, so hopefully you don't just hear Violet the lovebird making all sorts of noise. But let's see. I had these two really pretty skeins of hand spun that I've recently made, and you may have seen. Been making some of the little shorts and different little shorter videos on kind of project vlogs. So these may look somewhat familiar, but before they hit the mail or get made into a project, I thought I had two good yarns to demonstrate with. So I was like, I'm going to get on here live because this is not that well thought out of a YouTube channel if you hadn't gathered that much. So, anywho, what I've got without any more rambling here, let's see if I've got any comments. Okay, of course it's popping up lots of stuff. Okay, I think I can see if anybody comments anything. I will try to look, but I'm not always good at paying attention. Basically, what we got here is this is a chain ply or kind of 3-ply or Navajo ply, whatever you want to call it. We're going to go with chain ply. A chain ply braid, and this one was made out of, it was BFL, of course, from one of our favorite small farms or local, USA providers. But BFL is short for blue-faced Lester, and it doesn't look like Lester. It looks like Lannister or something. I had a real hard time with calling it blue-faced Lannister when Game of Thrones was on, because my mom and I did lots of yarn spinning while watching Game of Thrones, which is good because you get a lot done, but bad because like during the tense parts you spin too fast. So I had to really stop myself from calling this blue-faced Lannister. It's not. It's blue-faced Lester, so I've been told. So that's what this was. And it was our Candy Hearts braid. Like we have our monthly fiber subscriptions. So if you get those or you are familiar with our social media at all, they generally get posted. So if you want to look back, it was the February 2023 Crafty Housewife Yarns Braid of the Month that's in the Braid of the Month Club or the Fiber Artist Bundle, because one of the braids is in the bundle. It was the Candy Hearts braid. If you want to see what it started out with, it was really cool and speckled, and obviously it looked like Valentine's Day candy hearts. And we do it every year, and I love it. This one is, let's see, what month was this one from? It is April now, so that means it was March. This was March. This is this was a Rambouillet. I need to change the title of this video, so I will go back and do that. If you're here live and you're like, well, her title said Merino. It wasn't Merino, it was Rambouillet, but same difference. Rambouillet is sort of like the, actually, you're right, not same difference. Rambouillet is totally different wool, not Merino. We usually kind of call it the, like the cool cousin of the Merino. If you follow our work and what we put out, here, let me scoot back so I'm not right up on the camera. My head doesn't look so scary and large. Hey, Cookie. Rambouillet is loftier, is how we call it. It's a little floofier. I think it's got a little bit more of a sheen to it than Merino does, but it's very similar. It's super comparable to Merino. It's very soft. It's very like next of skin soft. Very similar to Merino. It's got a good crimp. But like I said, I feel like Merino's a little bit more compact, whereas Rambouillet I feel like is a little fluffier. And it's got a little, you can see the light there. I finally got some decent light for this YouTube channel, so yay me. It only took like 7 years. You can see it's got a good reflective quality to the wool. So anyhow, that's yarn 1 and yarn 2 here. And you can see just from holding them. So for difference in fiber, you can see this one is definitely... This one's floppier. This one kind of keeps its shape, and this one definitely does not. These were both 4-ounce braids, so these are roughly the same amount of yarn, but you can see the long wool is definitely a lot, has what we'll call it drape. I think that's the official term if you're knitting, is it's called drape. So if you're wanting to make a garment that had a nice hang to it, then obviously this one is going to be way less stiff than this. Not saying that this is stiff. I mean, definitely not stiff, but I feel like I'm making a different kind of video here. This one definitely got more drape to it, though. And you can see unwound that you can see that more. It's definitely, that's the long wool. It also has an even, one thing I really like about BFL is it's got a really good, I feel like the wool is more hair-like versus wool. So I say it's more like hair versus like a cotton ball. So, which I love. You can see it's really got a good shine. You can see where it's reflecting the light back a lot, where it's on this side, where it's closer to the ring light I have over my computer monitor. So that is this one. You can also see, I'll go ahead and undo this one too. And let's see. This one is very soft. It's a little bit more, it's lighter, it's a little bouncier versus drapier. And it is still, you can see it's definitely very light reflective, but not quite. You can see my hair behind it definitely looks much, more reflective, whereas this looks more matte, like a, like a scarf or a cotton shirt. So this one I'd say looks more cottony, like I said, next to my hair. Whereas that one, the BFL, looks more like hair. So that's this one. So that would be kind of the fiber difference. As far as spinning goes, I chose to chain ply this one because even though I'm not a super thin spinner, I mean, I can if I put my mind to it. So like I know how to spin thin, but my default typically is a little bit thicker, and it's just what I like doing. So this one was spun chain ply, meaning I spun it all one long length, and I kind of roughly color blocked it. I actually believe you can look it up. The most previous video to this one was kind of a project video on making this one. I'm pretty sure if you look back on my channel, I pulled this into not super exacting, but more or less color blocked sections and then spun them through. So, like all the pinks and then all the purples and, like tried to keep all the colors together and then chain plied it. And you can see it came out super cool. I really like it. And the chain ply, you can see how it's really got all those little, you can see all the different plies coming together there. So that was this guy. This one I double plied, and I'll make a little project video. So I guess it'll be coming next. It'll probably just be a little short because I don't have tons of footage. I do a lot of my spinning while my kids are home because I try to do all my computer work and things that actually use my brain more for when I'm home by myself during the day. And I mean, I also have to do things like buy food and cook food and fold 8,000 loads of laundry. So, I'm busy. But then when I'm spinning, a lot of my videos I've started recording with voiceovers because I have my kids are sitting right next to me and they're talking and telling me about whatever crazy cartoon we're watching. So, that would be confusing. So that's why a lot of my newer videos, now that my kids are older and do a lot more talking than they used to when they were babies, I'm kind of doing as voiceovers. But this one, so there will be a project video for this. I love this one. Is a basic 2-ply, and there ain't nothing basic about it. I love a good 2-ply. As y'all know, this was my first type of hand spun I fell in love with. And I didn't do any sort of color, dividing it into one section or another. Zero thought was given to how to divide this one. I literally pulled the braid into 2 sections. I spun one section with a zero thought regard to how the colors came out on one bobbin and one on the other. And then I 2-plied them back together. And this is how it came out. And I just really so this was the first type of hand spun yarn that I ever was just yes, I need that in my life. And I need a spinning wheel and I need to make that. Was exactly this yarn. I just love how the colors are all mixed together. I love the plying process. It's like a surprise every time. I love knitting things. I love making hats. I like making hats from one skein of hand spun like this. Because you don't end up with color pooling so much as, it's all random. So it just all comes together and it looks exactly like this, but in hat or I also like cowls a lot. Hats or cowls, and that's how that comes out. So you can see, let me twist these back together so I don't get them tangled up. I just, I said, I thought this was a cool example of two, long wool versus I guess, medium wool. long wool versus a medium wool, and then a chain ply with color planning, which was this one, versus completely no thoughts or cares given, super fun kind of punk rock 2-ply. So you can see right next to each other how those turned out, and I love them both equally because you know who can choose between children. I sure can. So anyhow, that's that. I hope if you are a new spinner, that maybe inspires you to try some new things, or if you're an old spinner, you're just like, yeah, that's cool. I like that other people make things. So there you go. Anyway, what else? Yes, if you are a new spinner, I'm like the worst YouTuber ever. Like, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, and I don't know, everybody's always like has some sort of great point that they make at the end with like closing on whatever their projects are, and I never think to do that. I never say, please like and subscribe, because I don't ever think to do that, even though my husband always reminds me that I should do that. So if anybody talks to him, tell him I said like and subscribe in this video. But yes, if you are new to spinning and you don't have any clue, anything that I was just talking about, I have probably a million videos on this channel at this point in time. And I can't even remember what all topics I've covered or not covered at this point. So, you know, go click around in the playlist section, and there's a ton of free content on there. And if you go to my website, craftyhousewifeyarns.com, and there's a courses section, and I've got a free part in there. We jokingly called it Yarn Cult, the staff and I. So that part is free, and that's where we just have a ton more free content, and both video and print-outable and patterns and all sorts of stuff. And that's where any new stuff gets added. Hey, and what else? There's also, I've got a few smaller paid courses on there for drop spindle if you're super new, or learning on a wheel if you have tried learning on a wheel and it just hasn't jibed for you. It might work for you. You know, I'm pretty good at explaining it at this point in time, so you can go check out my mini course on there. And then I've got the Dream Yarn course. We're super excited. I finally got the capabilities to have that as like a monthly, like month by month thing, so it can be super cheap. And you can have it for what you want to have it, and then cancel it when you don't want it anymore. And it used to be on Patreon, but Patreon kind of sucks. And so then when my website like updated and was able to do that, I am very happy that I have now been able to move that back to my website. So anyhow, if you want to learn to spin, I got all kinds of spinning instructions, and I'll try to link all those things I just mentioned somewhere below this video. And if you would like some braids to make yarns as, you know, diverse as these are, like I said, our main gig, the staff and I do, are our subscriptions. So we have yarn if you're a knitter, or fiber subscriptions if you're a spinner. And I mean, we think they're really cool. So they're all small farm, small fiber. You know, we don't import any of our stuff from overseas. And all of our, you know, it's all dyed and blended and spun and whatever by us, the crazy staff here at Crafty Housewife Yarns. So anyhow, I hope you have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And I now have to go fold the aforementioned 8 million loads of laundry, which if Mom's watching this, no, Mom, I haven't done it yet, even though I just told you I was going to earlier. I got distracted. So I'm going to go do that now. So I hope you'll have a good day. And if you have any questions or comments or whatever, you know, as long as they're nice, like, please leave those below.